sort of inferiority complex that makes us feel like white people are better than us, especially when it comes to the skin color. And even black people beef their own fellow black people. Hello people, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Life of a Tall Black Niger Girl, where I get to talk about some of my life experiences and lessons that can be learned from it. I'm also getting to doing music, movies and book reviews. So on today's episode, on today's talking, I am going to be doing my first ever book review. And the amazing thing, I feel like the reason why I'm excited and gassed to do this review is because it is a self-help book. And those that know me personally know that I get bored out of self-help books easily. Or like when I read fictions and like no, I read non-fictions as well because I'm always intrigued that something like this happened in real life, get that kind of thing. So without wasting time, I'm going to get right into the video. So the title of the book rather that I'm going to be reviewing is Life Lessons: My Path to Happiness by Abisola Biya. This book got me hooked from the beginning to the end. I read it finished in one sitting, mostly because it is not all those bulky self-help books that you get tired of reading in the middle. So it is really amazing. It is one of a kind, and so basically without wasting time, I'm going to get right into the video, right into reviewing it. But what is reviewing without jotting my points down? Because my head is filled up. So the first thing first thing that I noticed, Bara, was what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I've heard like 3 artists use this line in the music, and it's true actually. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but no go try them again, sha. No try that thing again. And it made me realize also that everything has a solution. There are high chances, like the likelihood of something that is happening to you has happened or is happening to someone else, and there's always a solution to these problems, right? Like you would always find people that have experienced it and they will tell you their own solutions, and on the way to applying their own solutions you also apply your own solutions. You find out things that can help you, right? And there's the issue of perfectionism. I'm going to attach the picture I took of that particular place that had to do with perfectionism, especially when it comes to academics. And children that when they were in primary school, they were always bringing first position. As you know that we can, somebody like me, I can't relate. And them entering senior secondary school, higher institution, and they have to like meet up the standards because they've had everybody on eye without realizing that there are different things being taught in these levels, and it's a whole lot. So I feel like people should do better when it comes to putting expectations on people, right? Like do better. Don't every time learn to be disappointed before they disappoint you. But don't be disappointed in me, and if you are disappointed no more, now you sabi. So another thing is financial liberation at any age. Hey, I was attacked in this one. So basically she just talked about like saving and investing your savings. Don't just go about squandering your savings. Like people will tell you, oh, save for rainy days, and saving for rainy days in their context, that save so that when people don't have, you'll be able to splurge up. When you don't have again, you'll be able to splurge your savings and spend it on frivolities. And then I also learned that you should prioritizing your wants, prioritizing your needs is can never be overemphasized when it comes to financial liberation, right? Like at any age, and she advised parents that, oh, parents, always make sure to instill the spirit of saving in your words at a very young age. And my parents, my siblings, they really tried that one with me, but as I'm not proud of it, but it's way low. So, and she talked about being contented. At the end of the day, all this drives out your contentment when you're not just buying unnecessary things with all the money you have. And then another thing was that relationship. I'm also going to attach the picture I took of that one. You people, my friends and co, because as at the moment I'm the only single person in the group, and what, I'm just a small girl, but if you see the way these people talk about this thing, you will think, no, I'm already like 30 years old, like you people should leave me alone. She talked about how some people go into relationships because they are bored, because they are lonely, and these are things that I've noticed that it has affected our relationship cycle, because you go into a relationship because you're bored, and then the other person finds out that, oh, of course the relationship will not last. And she made mention of the fact that Dr. Miles Murrow Jesus, she made mention of his name, and it was like, relationship is not the most important thing in life, and you should have a reason for being in a relationship. But some people go into relationship or marriages because of pressure from the outside. Like, people are saying, oh, at this particular age you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to be in a relationship, and all those things. Like, you are not properly equipped for why you want to go into a relationship. Like, the relationship is supposed to lead somewhere, but because of pressure you are into that relationship, and then you go out of, oh, they say by force by fire I must enter. You are with that person and it does not last, and then maybe that person now genuinely loves you, but because it did not last and the person was like, oh, I'm the person was heartbroken, basically, right? And in that process the person will go into another relationship without broken hearts, and be with another person that genuinely likes the person, because they want to move on from that broken heart, and then they break the other person's heart, and like that the cycle is moving on. It is really, really bad for the society. So don't allow anybody pressure you into doing anything. Don't be moved into doing things. So another thing that I noted was that have a strong sense of self, and this is like high self-esteem, and people tend to mistake high self-esteem for pride. There are two different things. She made mention of that. She said the difference, and then self self-concept is how you perceive yourself, and at the end of the day how you perceive yourself is how other people perceive you, and it has to do with your beliefs and ways of thinking as a person, right? And then she mentioned self-love, acceptance, and selfishness. And one thing that I held is it one, I did not hold only one thing, I had like two things, but one of it is that you punish yourself because you're giving yourself self-love. They brought many of us up to be people pleasers, right? So like basically you're supposed to be pleasing people, forgetting yourself in the process, not caring for yourself in the process. So when you eventually start reading books, start seeing things differently, and start seeing that you're supposed to give yourself love, you now start beating yourself up that, oh, you are being selfish and everything. So don't do that. You love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can't give love to another person. It is if you love yourself and you're full of love and you radiate love, that is when you'll be able to pass it, because you can't give what you don't have. And she mentioned about black people, like there's this sort of inferiority complex that makes us feel like white people are better than us, especially when it comes to the skin color, and even black people beef their own fellow black people. I'm going to attach something that I took a picture of to this video. Black people attack black people because they want a lighter skin. Like, it doesn't even make any sense, because I have been in this situation before that I even because of what this boy said to me, I had to go and bleach myself. Like he pierced my heart. It was so painful. And back then in my secondary school too, those teachers, they were glorifying fair skinned girls. Like they literally worshipped the ground that they were walking on, and then the rest of us that are dark, we not have anything. It's well, oh, God help us in this Nigeria. So this making your at the end of the day, she just talked about how you're supposed to embrace your skin color, the way you live your life and everything. But that does not mean you should not work on your flaws. Realize where your flaws are and everything and work on it. And then there is understanding life isn't always fairy tale. Hey, this one, I was intrigued when I saw this chapter because I don't always like movies that end with happily ever after. Like at the end of the day, life doesn't really go like that. And then she made a quote that I wrote down, and she said that problem can become a bridge or barricade to better things, and it is important to separate bad events, failures, or problems from you. They are only events and they do not define you. They don't define you, they are just events that you have no control over. So at the end of the day, if these things happen, don't beat yourself over it. Just pray and move on and all of those things. And she identified 10 principles on how to manage problem effectively, some of which are: don't underestimate the problem, don't exaggerate the problem, what doesn't kill you really makes you stronger, there's always solution to every problem. Those are the 4 I can remember because I didn't write those down. So yeah. And then the last but not the least is managing time, a very valuable resource. To a large extent, success and failure are determined by how we use our time. And complaining is one of the greatest time wasters, because this particular one, it eats me so much, because one of my sisters had actually told me before. I was used to the habit of always complaining. If something does not work in my favor, I would always complain that, I would always find something to say, I would always find something to blame in that situation. And then she was like, it is a failure that always complains. And I was like, I'm not a failure. So I learned to stop complaining. Like, if it has happened, it has happened. I just have to find a solution and a way out, instead of wasting time complaining and saying, Kiniko, it have happened. I have no control over it. That's as regards life is not a fairy tale. And instead of complaining and wasting my time, I need to get going. But don't mistake patience for wasting time, because like patience and wasting time, they look alike, but you just take the spirit of discernment to differentiate them. And that is what I've been able to learn from the old book. And I will give it a 9/10. Why am I giving it a 9/10? You will ask me, where is the remaining one? Because I was so gassed about coming to review this book. The remaining one is because I was attacked with chapter 2, financial liberation at any age. I was attacked because, I was attacked. And that's that about that. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. And one of the things that stood out for me, apart from the fact that I got hooked from the very beginning, was that she made use of, life lessons. She made use of people's story, a woman that entered a relationship, a marriage, an abusive marriage, because of, she saw the red flags, but she still decided to go in because people were telling her, what are they going to do to the wedding food and everything. She made use of real life stories and her own life stories, and she pointed it out from the something of the book. This is I used to write at the back, I've forgotten the name. She pointed it out that she used her story and some people's story, so it was relating to real life. I can relate to what I'm reading, so I'm not bored out. Maybe other self-help writers should take notes, because you cannot come and be writing book and be writing unrealistic things for me, and then people will now be telling you, you are just supposed to pick out what is going to work for you. I cannot even sit down to read it to the point of me picking out what will work for me, because I'm already bored from the beginning. So they should do better. They should learn from Abisola Biya. And that's that about that. Thank you for watching the video to the end. I only have the hard copy, but you can source for the soft copy online. I'm guessing it will be online, so yeah. That's that about that. See you till next time. Bye. If you enjoyed the review and you want me to do more, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.